Hello and welcome to the Canadian North. There has been a crime in Australia a couple of weeks ago, and by the time you watch this video, that is about 2 months from now, nobody will remember about this one. But the thing is, a Christian Assyrian bishop was stabbed by a Muslim teenager in his own church during the Christian Mass, and the crime was recorded, and the video posted on Twitter and some other social platforms. And now the Australian politicians and courts and Prime Minister, they all inflamed by the fact that Elon Musk doesn't want to take down that videos from the social media. And they say you should take that video down because it's inflammatory and it shows violence, and we want to protect the multicultural society, peace, or whatever. And that video peddles the wrong message, and so on and so on. Well, the fact is, there's been crimes. They called it incidents. I call them crimes. Both by Muslims against somebody else, and by Christians or so-called Christians against Muslims, against somebody else, in Australia, in New Zealand, and here in Canada too. You have a certain amount of crazy people on both sides. We had here in Quebec a young Quebecer going into a mosque a couple of years ago with an automatic weapon and shooting Muslims right and left. And you had that young guy in New Zealand 1 or 2 years ago doing the same in New Zealand. And the next day, the New Zealand Prime Minister, it was a lady at that time, she clad herself in Muslim clothes just to show how she feels about the crime against the Muslims, and to show solidarities, and saying that we are all Muslims today, and so on, so on, so on. Now, when the opposite happens, when the victim is a Christian bishop, nobody clads themselves in a Christian. Nobody gets on air saying we are all Christian now. And nobody seems to care too much, frankly. Of course, the guy was arrested, and the other guys, they cooperate with justice, and so on, so on, so on. But the main inflammatory point for the elites in Australia, and for the elites all over the world, for these leftist elites, is not the crime itself, is the fact that they are not able to force the internet to show only what they want. They are not able to censor the internet. They are not able yet. They are not fully able yet. The Muslims here in Canada, they voted for decades with the Liberal Party. They didn't care too much about the leftism, the economic leftism of this party. They didn't care too much about other stuff emanating from the Liberal Party. And truth be told, 20 years ago the Liberal Party was a very different animal from what's now. So they voted with the Liberals because, hey, you know what? The Conservatives are known to be racist. So they are against us, the Muslims. And they kept voting with the Liberals until recently a big fracture happened between the Liberals and the Muslims because the Liberals have now this tendency of pushing on everybody the transgenderism ideology, and the Muslims they tend to be rather religious people, and they don't want to listen to this kind of crap coming from the Liberals. And the Conservatives, being a party that keeps talking about family this and family that, a lot of Muslims now will vote with Conservatives. Well, what can you say? Me, as an immigrant, I'm a bit suspended between two worlds. The old world back in Eastern Europe, with our own way of thinking and watching the reality, and the new world here in Canada, which is full of challenges, and you have to compete, you have to do something with your life and so on. And I know both sides. I have friends in both sides, both Christians, practicing Christians who go to church every Sunday, and Muslims who go to the mosque and they pray and this and that. And there is no need for censorship. You don't need to impose censorship on internet for these normal people, because they know very well what happens. And if you listen to both sides, they all always almost speak in the same terms and the same ideas. And it's about about your roots, your traditions, your type of society, and your family, and this and that. So they are not that different, these people. So if only media, academia, and politicians would stay away from these sensitive issues and not try to correct every time any problem the way they want, and to follow a certain agenda, things would be much better for the society. So, hello Australia. Do you really want your wonderful Justice Kurz and your genius Prime Minister to have the right to impose on everybody else what can be and what cannot be seen on internet? What should be and what shouldn't be published on internet? Are you really that far gone as a country, as people, as system, as to accept this kind of thinking, this kind of Soviet model, communist model, all in the name of avoiding inflammatory this and inflammatory that, all in the name of avoiding more social problems? Well, wake up, guys and girls. The social problems are there already.